There are a lot of disorders out there, and the chances are that most of us have one of these, albeit on the lower end of the spectrum, but today we are going to focus on one specific disorder, which is the Avoidant Personality Disorder. So, stay tuned to learn more about what it is and its symptoms or signs. So, let's begin the video. Understanding the concept of personality is helpful in understanding Avoidant Personality Disorder. The totality of an individual's entire biological, psychological, social, learning, and inherited genetic features is their personality. In other words, one's personality determines how one thinks, feels, and acts. Personality impacts an individual's ability to adapt and live in a changing reality. Now that you guys understand the concept of personality, let us tell you about the disorder itself. People with Avoidant Personality Disorder are continuously afraid of being rejected because they believe they are inferior to others. They have a strong desire to be loved at the same time. Individuals with Avoidant Personality Disorder avoid social contacts due to a negative self-concept and deep-seated dread, making it particularly impossible for them to build intimate relationships. All facets of life are harmed by these characteristics. Mentalization is the ability to predict people's underlying desires, needs, intents, and goals that drive their actions. Individuals with Avoidant Personality Disorder may struggle with mentalization, resulting in low self-esteem and social functioning. Another thing that people with Avoidant Personality Disorder lack is the ability to regulate and express emotions. People with such tendencies usually avoid emotional expression so as to protect themselves from painful rejection. This is often seen as coldness by the people around them. Alternatively, people with this disorder suffer hyper-emotional sensitivity. This means that they are overly sensitive to others' emotional states, and when someone is already expecting rejection, they go out of their way to avoid such social interactions. Finally, individuals who suffer from Avoidant Personality Disorder are known to have malignant self-regard. Basically, disappointment of others leads to a poor self-concept that includes feelings of humiliation, inability to express anger, despair, and the idea that one is insufficient in general. So now that you guys have an idea of what an Avoidant Personality Disorder is, let us get into what are some of the signs. Avoidance of social activities. People with this disorder fear criticism, condemnation, or rejection. Hence, they avoid occupational activity that requires extensive interpersonal contact. So you want these individuals participating actively in any social activities, and the chances are that they might not even show up to such events. Now, not everyone who avoids such gatherings suffers from the disorder. They might actually be busy somewhere. But if they make an excuse every time, then chances are that either they don't like you or they actually are uncomfortable in such situations. Difficulty in forming intimate relationships. Humans are a social bunch, and they crave attention and close bonds. It is our nature to look for or feel the need for a close sexual or intimate partner, as we best thrive in pairs. But people suffering from Avoidant Personality Disorder usually show restraint within intimate relationships. This means that they never truly open up to their partner and are likely to keep them at arm's length. All of this behavior stems from their fear of being shamed or ridiculed. Now, it is hard to imagine the prospect of not sharing with our partner, but to such individuals, this is simply a mechanism that they believe is necessary, as it will protect them in the long run. View self as socially inept. Now, feeling bad about yourself or thinking that you won't be able to do something is completely normal, and all of us have gone through self-doubt at least once in our life. But as the saying goes, all things are good in moderation. So when your opinion about yourself is only centered on being socially inept and personally unappealing, then things aren't right. At this point, it is good to go to a mental health specialist who will make it easy for you to get rid of all these self-derogatory thoughts. Avoidance of anything new. Being apprehensive of anything new is a very common feeling. After all, nobody likes to change, and the feeling of familiarity is pretty uncomfortable. But change is good, as it gives you a chance to grow and become a better version of yourself. But people with Avoidant Personality Disorder are reluctant to take personal risks and avoid engaging in any new activities as they believe that they may prove embarrassing. and the thought of people making fun of them is something that they are not ready to accept. Unwilling to interact with other people. Now, this may sound like a repetition of the signs we have talked about before, but it is different in the sense that people who suffer from the disorder are only keen on interacting with other people if they believe that their audience will like them. Everyone loves validation, but this is much more than that. It is an acute need to be liked by everyone, and in the long run, it is bound to become extremely toxic. Not only will these people go out of their way to please others, but if they fear that the other person might not like them, then they will probably never come out of their shells. Hypervigilance to threats. Vigilance is a psychological attribute that permits a person to check their surroundings for risks in order to be safe. But hypervigilance pushes that favorable trait to an unhealthy level. Hypervigilance keeps you on high alert, which is uncomfortable, anxiety-inducing, and hard to maintain. Hypervigilance can make others' safe situations feel dangerous. If you're continually scanning and rescanning your area with enhanced sensory perception, you're more likely to misunderstand a person or an object, assigning it to a level of danger when none exists. So, if you or someone you know is panicky or paranoid, even in the most trivial of situations, then chances are that they are suffering from the Avoidant Personality Disorder. Feelings of inadequacy. The state of not being enough or good enough is characterized as inadequacy. When we believe we aren't good enough, we experience feelings of inadequacy. These emotions have little to do with our real ability or performance in life. In truth, these feelings may have a lot more to do with the lack of self-esteem or confidence than with any objective measure of skill or competence. Basically, individuals suffering from the disorder are more prone to problems like low self-esteem, which means that they will always think that they are not good enough. Feelings like this are sure to lead to depression. We all know that the last thing any one of us needs is to feel depressed, especially when there are so many negative things going on in the world. So, that is all the time we had today, folks. Hope you enjoyed this video. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel to view more of our amazing videos, and do hit the bell icon on your way out. See you all next time.